So welcome to your coaching gym. Coaching gym's 20-minute session, laser focused, one thing. We strategize, get you action steps. So I was curious what you wanted to focus on for today.
Okay. It's funny, I had something and I'm just curious. I was thinking about, because it's not really Body Thrive, so maybe I'll change it to what I was going to do with my other Body Thrive coach. I'm so lucky I have two right now. I was going to talk to you a little bit about my goal, but I think I might save that for another time with you and talk about with Body Thrive. I just want a little conversation and input around my morning routine.
Okay.
Starting the day right, the order of things and what I'm experiencing and how I want to figure out flexibility in that to just serve me and my, really my spirit in the highest way. So I stay in this for the long run. If that makes sense. What I'm finding is I don't want to get too rigid about it. Yet I have some concern if I play with the formula, will I stop? Does that make sense?
Okay, so what I hear is that you want to work on habit number 3, start your day right. And you want to build some more perhaps structure into that habit, make it more routine, but you also don't want to be overly rigid with the way that you implement things and the ritual that you do decide to create. Am I hearing you correctly?
Yes, and if you need example, the specific example, I can share that.
Okay. So what's already working about your morning routine?
I'm doing it.
Okay, so what is it?
It's not always in the same order or in fact at all like boom, boom, boom. But it is waking up and turning on my hot water and then doing my very first, it's just like scrape, brush my teeth, go to the bathroom, pee, sip, poop, dry brush.
Okay.
And then here's where it starts to, so then within the next hour or so, cold shower happens, stir the pot, breathing with Wim Hof, meditating and journaling. Okay, so those are all the things that need to happen. And I think ideally I really should block 2 hours for that, which means like a, kind of 5:30 wake up time and start on that around 5:45.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, then that will take you all the way to like 7:45, which is that's great. So first of all, I think it's amazing that you have such a comprehensive morning routine. I mean, what you're already laying out here is that you're checking off, multiple of the habits already. So for example, the all fours practice is our breath body practice. That specifically you're doing the stir your pot, kick your butt, Naveen Mishan practice that's on YouTube. But you're also getting your meditation in, which is the habit of sit in silence, which is really amazing. And so all of this also falls under the whole habit of, it's worth, I guess, just mentioning. I think I lost my 5 there, but pull it over. Habit number 3.
Breath body, right?
No, start your day.
Oh, wait, start your day right. Yeah. So what I've noticed in this Wild Habits Challenge I've been doing since December 21st, the meditation slipped to get the cold shower in. I'll do 20, sometimes 25 minutes of Wim Hof breathing. I tend to only do about 12 minutes of, the stir the pot.
Okay, so what I hear is that you if you want to focus on one thing in all of this, because all of this is a lot. The first thing that comes to mind is meditation. Are you trying to get your meditation habit back into your morning practice? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So I think what's happening is, I'm really, as far as gain, I'm rocking it, especially that start your day right. That's just, it's like, I just do it. Like if I'm close to the toilet before I've scraped my tongue, there's this automatic oh, scrape the tongue, so that's fascinating and amazing.
So you're not even, it's much of it is a habit, you know.
It's automated. Yeah. It's totally automated. And I've been working on this for a very long time. And then thank goodness in May with you. So like, that's awesome. So what's happening is like, for example, I mean, I'm gifted that I have a lot of time. And so right now, because I just stepped into the yoga health coaching, I'm blocking time. I have a lot to do between my waking hour and before I'm trying to like turn the internet off at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And so I have a lot to do, and 5 p.m. is my dinner. So there's a lot to fit in. So when I had 2 days of class on whatever 2 days I just had recently, I overslept a bit because my energy was high. So I didn't fall asleep till 2 a.m. Then I had to rush it. And so then what I do to just make what I did those 2 days is I only did like 4 minutes of breathing and 4 minutes of stir the pot because I'm in this challenge. And for this challenge, I have to do that every morning for me. That's the goal. And I don't even know when the challenge is up. I know these things are for the rest of my life, but I just want to make sure that I think it's at the end of January that I've taken a cold shower, breathed the Wim Hof breathing, and stirred the pot every day during the challenge.
That's awesome. I mean, I think you're hitting the nail on the head with owning the win and owning the gain, and just keep breathing into it and owning it, I'd say.
Yeah. But I see how easily it can get away from me. And so I really just want to start. And like, so what I did this morning is I went to the bathroom stuff, but then I came back and I meditated. Then I did the Wim Hof, then I did the stir the pot, and then I did the cold shower. So this is what I'm trying to work with. Like, yeah, I think I had it in my head that I was supposed to hop out of bed and go in the shower right away. Like that was the idea.
I think it's interesting that we have it in our head that we're supposed to do it anyway. You know, it's like we can't just sort of be okay with what it is and like, you know, and I think there's something here where it's like, is there a wrong way to do it? You know,
That's my question. And I think I internally, intuitionally, I know the answer, but I feel this push because I've always looked to authority for things. So this is the deeper piece of this question.
Yeah. So it's the difference between insourcing versus outsourcing. And when we source outwards, we're sort of waiting for the external approval to tell us what it is, what it's supposed to be, how much I'm supposed to do. Did I do enough? Was it 4 minutes? Was it 5 minutes? Was it 3 tablespoons? Was it this many calories? Instead of just like really trying to hone in and honor the wisdom that comes from within. And so it's not really, I mean, it's up to you. You have to choose your own. For me, even for me to tell you is in a way outsourcing. I'm not saying don't ask for advice, don't listen to others' opinions, but like, see if you can just get more in the habit of that with all of this. So that being the case, what needs to happen? What do you want to work on? What do you want it to be? Let's just look at meditation.
Yeah, I'm with the direction I'm going in my life now. I've had a goal. I was initiated into Nilakanta meditation, which is a variation of TM, Transcendental Meditation. I think in 2008. So I've had a conscious awareness that I would like to bring that into my life 2 times a day. And then, you know me well, and it's been in and out. And I watched you when you learned that modality, like the consistency that you did, even through being on a bus for weeks at a time, you know, meditating twice a day. At this juncture of my life, what I'm setting out to do, who I am, that's just like a non-negotiable, it has to be a non-negotiable, you know, or I won't be who I am, like as a person, as a coach, as everything. I don't know if that makes sense, but I know the power that it has to connect me to my own inner guidance, to connect me to the divine guidance, and to give me all kinds of strength that I don't even know how to describe. So that's why I feel like sometimes, like if I can, like, I think sometimes I notice, like if I just wake up, go to the bathroom and then meditate, like, I feel like, I don't know, maybe that, yeah, I guess I'm just trying to figure out for myself, what's the strongest first thing to do.
It sounds like you really know your why. Sounds like you know that it's a non-negotiable. So let's think about, Kaizen here,
Okay.
and try to make a goal for this week from, Monday through Friday even, and just make a plan. Like, how many times do you want to meditate, and for how long, and when do you want to do it? And, with this whole Kaizen approach, it means, first of all, small incremental change.
Okay.
You got to go for something that's more along the lines of like a 1%, I'd say. Know that, you're going for a B minus. And when you're making a new goal, it's interesting. James Clear says it should take less than 2 minutes. That's the 2-minute rule, the author of Atomic Habits. Like, when you're trying to automate a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do.
Okay, hold on. It should take less than 2 minutes.
When you're trying to automate a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do, because I think one of the first rules of kind of making a new habit is to make it easy.
Okay.
Right? He has a few of them. I think make it specific, make it actionable, measurable, and I'm not sure what the other ones are. I could look it up, but
Okay.
you get the idea, right? So
Yeah.
let's just say, you already have said that you want to do it in your morning routine, right?
Right.
And you know that your morning routine is 2 hours long. I mean, we could even go all the way back to this and just time it out. I mean, it's like, I kind of more or less know how long each of my things take. And I fit everything in within an hour, right?
Okay.
Actually more if you factor in, that for me, because I just I'm journaling while I'm sipping my hot water. So I guess mine's more or less 2 hours as well. How long do you want to meditate for in the morning?
I set my timer for 21 minutes.
Okay. And do you feel like that's going to make it hard?
No, I don't, because it's something I've been working towards for a very long time. So, and when I noticed that when I was putting that meditation after like the cold shower, stir the pot, breathe, that's where it would slip, because something would come up. I had to go get done. So I feel like maybe I should bump it up to like just right after I go to the bathroom, and then sit back down and meditate.
Okay. So, I mean, what you're really talking about here is habit stacking.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that one habit comes after the other. I have to resize that too.
Well, so it's interesting. So 2 things here, because I noticed like today, so after I meditate, I laid in Shavasana and just sort of let it cool down, so to speak, the meditation. Sure. And it was funny because today for the first time in a very long time, I did that in bed. So I went straight into Wim Hof breathing once I was cooled down, and I did the Wim Hof breathing in bed, but I told myself, don't do this in bed, because bed is like where you sleep. Don't get attached to that comfort zone. But I just did it.
I think that's right. I mean, I think you're right. So
yeah. So I witnessed that, and then I realized, and then
also, where do you want to do it?
Well, also because where I do it on the yoga mat on the floor next to my bed is very cold, So, but then I did get down, and I did the cat cow from there. So I feel like if I meditate in my bed and then get down on my yoga mat and do my relax, and then do either the cat cow and then the breathing, like it's this natural flow.
Yeah.
Do you think it's harmful for my brain, like my path, when I juggle it around like that? Like, I wonder what my brain is doing there, if it's a sabotage or if it helps keep it exciting for me.
You juggle what around when you change
The
your
order of like breathing and then cat cow, or
I mean, do you think it juggles with your brain?
I guess I just need to play with it, but I do notice, I've been a person who's avoided routine a lot of my life.
Okay, so the fact that you're even asking the question probably means that you maybe think it,
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
You're curious about it, not me.
I'm curious.
You had that thought. And so you could ask yourself that question, and then you could also answer that question for yourself. But like, this is where you're going to really start to get into conversation with, whoever it is over here, that's this person, and they actually know the answer. So like when it's like Q and A,
Yeah.
right? Current self, future self, and just entertain the idea that like the future self might know the answer to that question. And you have to ask the question.
Right.
You're not going to get the answer unless you ask the question. But you could also think of your future self, I think, as the higher self, because we're evolving. Like we're evolving in this kind of, spiral like motion we've talked about a lot in the past. And the future self, they literally have more knowledge, right? You know how we've always talked about how the V expands outward, and
Yes.
the stuff that fills in the space of the expands is things like, knowledge, new skills, new people and relationships, new competencies. So yeah, I would encourage you to ask that question to your future self. And
Okay.
we got to come back to this though. What's your goal? We got to make the goal this.
Specific, measurable, timing. What's the A and the R? I forget. I know it. Specific, measurable, available,
my writing's not helping. Actionable.
actionable.
Sorry.
It's funny to know, it's good for the brain to try to do it this way. Realistic, timely.
No.
Timely. Well, honestly, I mean,
time bound. So you know the time.
the goal is to, okay, so the goal is, the very first goal, I think, and I don't want to be too hard on myself, but like I'm at a point where I sort of do need to be tough on myself, because I've been bringing this in, wanting to bring it in for so long. And now I really have a great framework with Body Thrive and you as my coach, and is to have the 2 hours in the morning that I get all these things done, and maybe be lenient on the hours. I mean, I'm sorry, the order that it's done. But
sure, I hear us changing focuses. I'm curious, do you want to talk about the meditation, or do you want to talk about the whole structure of the?
I think it's important. The whole structure is important. I noticed meditation was the one that was easy to slip out of, so I don't want to let that happen. It didn't slip every day.
All we're saying is, how many times do you want to meditate over the next 5 days, Monday through Friday?
5 times.
Okay, 20 minutes each time?
Yeah, 21.
Great. And you know what you're going to do before?
Okay.
Which is?
I'm going to do my bathroom routine before.
Okay. Bath stuff.
I get a hot water bathroom routine, and then I meditate.
Great.
So that's the thing. Like, this is probably the question about the before and the after, like the order, because I'm acclimating my body to a new vibration and the way I'm intermittent fasting and such. So here's what's happening. I am doing pretty well at getting into bed early. Sometimes I can't fall asleep. Sometimes I wake up at 2 a.m. So then what's happening is that gap when it's time to get up at 6. If I've been up for 2.5 hours, I'm so tired, I oversleep.
Well, it's okay. I mean, you're going to a different habit, and we can talk about a different habit. And oftentimes that does happen. It's like you think you're trying to address one habit, and you're like, wait, actually we need to talk about early or lighter dinner, because, or actually we need to talk about early to bed and make sure your bed flow chart is like there. So because maybe there's not some practice that's not already there that needs to be there to support you in getting the deepest rest that you need to get all night, so you can wake up in the morning and feel energized to do a morning routine that is going to be supportive for you and all the things that you need to be conquering right now, because you have a lot on your plate and there's a lot to take care of.
Okay, well, that might be like in the next coaching gym. So for like this week, I'm going to just focus on this meditation, and maybe
I'm trying to help you architect the habit. So I'm asking you all these things for a very specific question. First of all, what comes before? So the preceding action.
Okay, so what comes before I meditate is I get out of bed, I turn on the kettle.
No, you've already said it. Yeah,
Okay.
bathroom stuff, right?
Yep.
And then what also is going to be very crucial is exactly where you're going to meditate. And
Okay.
don't judge it. Just come up with an idea and say it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it in my bed, even if you
I
know.
do it. I have a spot on my bed that I do it. Yeah.
Great. And then what else do we need to know?
And then I need to go down to the floor on the yoga mat when I'm done. That's an important piece of it, to cool off from the meditation.
Okay. Yes. Yes. And so I could also think of that as the reward that you give yourself, kind of like you let the cycle complete in a way.
Yeah.
And you absorb the effects of the habit and you enjoy the effects of the habit, whatever it was, right? And I think that's a great idea, because it's like, even if you have had a judgmental meditation or something, you can be easier on yourself here, right? It's like, you did it. Let's just lay back now and, we're done meditating. So, I mean, that's great. But do you see how the 20 minutes goes fast? Because we started pretty much right at 1:30.
Yes, it's that we're done. I was timing it too. I was about to say,
Interesting
like,
for me, because I don't like to interrupt people. Typically in like a conversation, I'm not someone who's going to interrupt. But in these coaching gyms, it's almost a different situation where we're trying to like really stay. It's this thing it's come up a bunch in Journey to You. We get in our own way, right?
I'm good at that.
And so it's weirdly my job, I feel like, to sort of insert new possibilities for new ways of thinking. Because I'll just share one more thing, because Kate talks about this a lot too. It's like, if you want to change the results, you actually end up having to change your thinking. So it's like,
it's funny. I was literally just thinking that. I'll tell you after you say this.
Yeah. Have you heard this teaching?
No.
All right. So they all inform one another. The thinking really creates your opportunities. The opportunities then create your results. And then it closes in saying that those results are going to affect your thinking, because that's going to be like, oh, hey, like of course I think this way. These are the results that I'm used to experiencing. Of course I'm going to think what my experiences are, I would think. And that's the result. So actually, if you want to change your results, you've got to change your thinking so that you change your opportunities. And it's hard. It's that thing of like, you can't solve the problem with the same thinking that created the problem. And so even though I was sort of like talking over you and trying to interject, I was just trying to like focus in as much as possible so that you can feel that you have actionable steps to kind of go into the week with. You know exactly where you're going to do it. You know what's going to come before. And then remember all of this stuff too. I should just really keep this up. And it's very important that we circle back to this. So I'm glad I remembered. Where is it? This. So all of this, okay? Really, really crucial that you're like, all of that happens, that you use the Kaizen approach. You know that it's going to be a small improvement. So even if it's one day where you get there and you're like, fucking, I did not want to like do the meditation today, you can, because you're doing the B-, right? And so you might have that day, and you're only going to know because in that moment, I got to get my slides in order. You insourced and you listened to what was needed in that moment, but you have a plan, and that's great. A plan is a system, and we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. So now you have a system for your meditation habit next week. And I'm excited to hear how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. And I was thinking about when you said about the thinking opportunity results is that, I mean, I've had access to your coaching gym since May, and my thinking, what was in my brain wasn't like, that's what shifted to allow me to now really get in these coaching gyms, be laser focused and make these changes. So I literally am living that experience of the changed thinking.
Well, and I'm getting better. I'm learning more how to do them too. because it's an edge for me. It's like, I don't like interrupting people. You know,
Yeah.
I don't like, I want us all to get along and be agreeable, but yeah, I think it's, and they can also be fun. And I always try to have a sense of humor with all of this. And it's not a critique on you, but it's rather just trying to like, try to stay on focus, stay
Yeah.
towards the goal, keep the eye on the prize. All right, so hang on, let me press pause on the recording and then you and I can talk more. But if you watch this, this is essentially a coaching gym. If you have questions about coaching gyms, this is more or less a model coaching gym. We look at the habits. I try to take everything back to the habit, and then I'll share one or two habit evolution concepts or identity evolution concepts with you along the way. And I'll also encourage you to go for the B-, and so that way you don't feel at the end of the week like you failed. Okay, there's no failure. All right.
Thank you.
See you guys later.